Okay. Dear Dr. Ismail Said, Dr. Abdul Latif, Dr. Shaji Kudiyat, Dr. Manoj, and all other doctors present in this meeting. Good evening to all of you. I would like to make a small correction. In the introduction, inadvertently, you have said that I am a member of the governing body and standing finance committee of National Institute of Kottayam. It's not like that. It is governing body and standing finance committee of National Institute of Calcutta.
All right.
And in Kottayam, that is the National Research Institute in Mental Health. There, the governing council, I am a member of that.
Okay. Sorry, ma'am. Okay.
Okay, it's okay. I know. First of all, I congratulate the...
And you are coming with a homeopathic family, am I right?
Yes.
You have a wonderful connection to homeopathic family, right?
Yes, my father was a homeopath. All my sisters, brother, homeopaths, husband, homeopath. And my niece, 4 nieces are homeopaths also.
What about children, ma'am?
Children, my daughter is a gynecologist. And my son is done his engineering in biotechnology. And then he did his MBA from IIM Indore. Now he is working in Biocon, Bangalore.
All right. Why, ma'am, the another generation is not coming to the homeopathic family?
And my children, my daughter want to become a surgeon. And my son didn't want to come into medical field. So he went for that biotechnology. My sister's daughters are homeo doctors, 4 of them.
All right. Okay, ma'am. Warm welcome.
Okay, thank you. First of all, I congratulate the International Forum for Promoting Homeopathy for conducting a Zoom meeting for this much long time. I think that itself is a milestone in itself. This is the 266th meeting. I don't think any other organization has conducted such a series of meetings. So congrats once again. The topic of discussion today is what needs to be done in homeopathy for homeopathy to be the #1 in the world. We all know, according to World Health Organization, homeopathy is the second most popular practiced system of medicine in the world. Do we need to remain there? Or do we aspire to become the #1? I think we all wants to make the homeopathic system #1 in the world. That is why this topic of discussion came here. And this series of discussions on this subject shows that there is a aspiration for everybody to make this system #1. If you have a thought if you have a serious thought for doing anything, definitely favorable results will come. If you look into the history of homeopathy, it had a glorious past. After Hahnemann introduced homeopathy in 1810, 1996 it has started, but after 1810 it had a glorious past. It had hospitals, teaching institutions, almost all parts of Europe and America. But unfortunately, after 1911, it started declining. There are so many reasons for that. I'm not going to tell about those things here. But now the question is whether we should remain like this or we should improve and make the system #1. Many speakers might have analyzed the facts before this. But however, I would like to point out my point of view. Any medical system, if it wants to improve, it has to take care of 4 areas of that medical system. They are patient's care, education, research, and drug development. And I think homeopathy has to concentrate all these areas to make it a holistic system of medicine. Again, when we come to the patient's care, which is the most important component of public acceptability, it should focus not only the curative aspect, it should give importance to preventive aspect as well as promotion of health. To become a full-fledged medical system, or the number one system, it has to be able to deal with all kinds of disease conditions, acute, chronic, emergency conditions, as well as surgical cases. At present, homeopathy is unquestionably effective in chronic cases and somewhat effective in some acute cases. Thus, by and large, it remains as a therapeutic modality. So we have to concentrate on how we can do something in emergency cases or surgical cases. What is our role? How can we improve that role in that cases as well as in acute cases? Though we all know with our medicines we can cure many of the so-called surgical cases, but there are so many surgical cases where surgery is the only option. Can we do anything in that area? That is again one more question. Like that, homeopathic students, when they are learning homeopathy, skill development and management of the cases is not taught much. Basically, they overloaded with theoretical teaching, and the skill development and management is not taught properly. It should be focused more. As for example, take the case of a fracture. We all know that in modern medicines, they are having reduction procedure and painkillers. They don't have a medicine to heal the bone. But in homeopathy, we know there are some medicines to help in healing the bones. But a fracture patient will not come to a homeopath because we don't have that skill to reduce that fracture and doing the plaster and all this management. Normally homeopath doesn't know. So that skill development has to be developed in the teaching institution itself. The same is applicable in emergency cases like accidents, drowning, poisoning, etc. Though we have many effective medicines in our stock, without the supportive therapies, we will not be able to manage emergencies. For example, fluid and gas support may be required in many emergencies. Fluid support in dehydration cases, blood transfusion in bleeding cases will be needed in many cases. We may be able to give medicines to stop the bleeding in a patient, but already if the blood is lost, blood transfusion is the only option in that areas. How this can be incorporated in the treatment plan, we have to think seriously. Then another area, supplementation therapy. Cases like nutritional deficiencies. We can correct the nutritional deficiency with our constitutional therapy in many of the cases. But suppose a nutrient is lacking in the diet of that patient, like anemic women with a lack of iron in their diet, their supplementation is the only option. As a homeopath, we have to address these things. How we can encroach in those areas, how we will be able to do that. Another area is antenatal care. We have so many medicines for the complaints during the pregnancy, and our medicines are safe in pregnancy. But normally a pregnant lady go to antenatal care for an allopathic hospital because she knows that for delivery she has to go to their hospital only. So our hospitals, especially the one which is attached to the teaching institution, should equip with the facilities to conduct normal deliveries, and the students should learn how to conduct a normal delivery. Then another area, palliative care. We as homeopaths, we need to improve our ability to relieve the sufferings, whether it is unbearable pain or any other sufferings in terminally ill patients. Regarding laboratory investigations, neither we are advising the necessary laboratory investigation to the patients properly, nor we are using the interpreted results to the treatment. They are very necessary for the proper treatment, management, and to know the prognosis of the cases. Another area where we should give more importance or give attention is scientific research. Though various research activities are going on, they are basically clinical researches. We should be able to explain our fundamental principles through research, for which we have to collaborate with other scientists. Then only we will be able to explain our basic fundamental principles. If homeopaths are closed in homeopathic peoples only, it will not be able to. Then another issue what I feel, non-availability of homeopathic medicine easily. Though there are so many homeopaths in and around your area, you may not get a homeopathic medicine if you need it is easily. Normally the homeopathic doctors doesn't sell medicine. And if suppose I want a medicine prescribed some other doctor, my friend or somebody else, or if I am taking some medicines regularly, if I want to get that, it's not easy as allopathic medicines. Our efforts should be enhance the current position of homeopathy to make more viable, acceptable, and credible. Then only homeopathy can become the #1 system of medicines. These are some of the points I felt which is needed to be addressed. Thank you very much for inviting me to put my points in front of this August gathering. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Dr. Radha. So we have a discussion after that. After the doctor's speech, you have the discussion. Please hold on.
Yes,
So
sir.
we can go for the next session. I would like to call Dr. Bob E.L. Lim from Malaysia. He's a professional homeopath, international coordinator and liaison officer for PPHM, that means Homeopathy Association of Malaysia, member of IAPH, not IFPH. I would like to welcome IFPH also. He's a member of IAPH, Indian Institute of Homeopathic Physician, IACH Greece. Dr. Lim have been awarded PhD by IBAM, Institute of Health Science, Kolkata, for free healthcare service to the Abougnis, okay, in Malaysia, using homeopathic medicine. Dr. Bob Lim was the first and only one homeopathic doctor in Malaysia to write a scientific paper on efficacy of homeopathic medicine in the management of acute respiratory syndrome boards. Okay. His scientific paper won the special award and certificate on DVS quality and Innovation Day year 2003 in Penang. This award was presented by the Minister of Agriculture Malaysia, accompanied by the Director General of the DVS. So I would like to call Dr. Bob E.L. Lim. You can speak for the next 10 minutes.
Okay. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, moderator of IFPH, for inviting me tonight to share about 10 minutes. And I wish to welcome to Dr. M. Radha, who has just spoken, Dr. M. Radha from India. And the other panelists tonight will be Dr. Muhammad Karim of Afghanistan. Good day to you all. And I'd like to say thank you to all those who are attending tonight's webinar. And thank you for your presence and for your support. I would like to, I have only 10 minutes, so I cannot touch so much. So I only support Dr. M. Radha that we should go to pregnancy care and palliative care. I mean, in certain countries like India, they have a lot of hospitals there, homeopathic hospital, I think they can do it. But in certain countries where homeopaths do not have a hospital, I think they have to do it on a voluntary basis, like going to the palliative care center in the hospital, general hospital themselves, and do voluntary work. And the topic tonight is about how we are going to be number one in the world in homeopathy, right? How do we go to number one? At present, in last week discussion, we were saying that we are number two, but unfortunately, only India can claim they are number one and number two right now in the world, but not other countries. Because other countries, we are still struggling, like in Malaysia, they are supposed to say that we supposed to build a hospital for integrative medicines, also giving a section to homeopathy. Until today, it is only talk. So before we can become go to number one, I think we'd like to share that we must have cash. If not, we cannot achieve our objective. And what is cash? Can you see this word?
Yes.
Actually, cash means we must have knowledge. K means stands for knowledge, and A means attitude, and S means skill. Is it on the reverse or is it? Can you read it?
Yes.
Or I have to turn this way? Which way will be okay? Knowledge, attitude, skill, and honesty. We must have knowledge in order to have a good homeopath. That's why we have to keep on learning and learning. For me, I have 20 years of experience in homeopathy, and right now, till today, I am still learning. So whenever you have a chance, you explore, you go and buy books. When I was in UK, I bought this book by Robin Morphy. And that time I was only new to homeopathy, and I read this book about homeopathy by Robin Morphy, and he explained very nice. And this book is quite cheap in UK, even though it's in pounds, only a few pounds. And there's very colorful pictures. That's where we start in homeopathy. We learn from the very basic and from the books. And I think Robin Hayfield has started his own school teaching in UK right now, if I'm not mistaken. And then we have to have achieve a lot of knowledge. That means we have to buy books after books. And one of the books that is recommended to me is Alan's Keynote. And I'd like to thank all the doctors, professors from India that has come down to Malaysia and to help us promote homeopathy and to give us knowledge when we were beginning in Malaysia. There was no institution, any university or college of higher learning for us to study homeopathy, and we have to invite the experts from India. And one of the earlier experts were Dr. L.M. Khan. He was the former director of NIH. Professor M. Khan, I think you heard of it. And the other one will be Dr. Devan Harish Chan. And he has written 2 books. And these books, I bought it when I was in Calcutta. When I was having my lessons, I studied homeopathy with a group of enthusiastic homeopaths from Malaysia, including 2 doctors, allopathic doctors who have converted into homeopathy. And they come together with me to Calcutta to study under Professor Dr. L.M. Khan. And we are very grateful for his guidance and for his encouragement. And this is the books that I have read from Dr. L.M. Khan. It is right down the pressure of prescribing. Well, some of us, and me sometimes, also fell victims that prescribing is not a pressure. When we are facing a hardcore patient with a lot of chronic problems, so it is not a pressure to me sometimes, but we have to learn from Professor Aaron Khan. He said it's the pressure of prescribing. So read this book, then you will feel happy to prescribe more, because sometimes prescribing might give you a headache. Sometimes when you have a program, it doesn't help you much. The computer program, you see, it returns something that is not from the books. I wonder whether there was a typing error or how they come about it. And the other books you must know is Allen Keynote, there's two, and The Organon of Medicine. And the second thing I tell you about attitude. Attitude means that you must have always the attitude to learn more and more, to be skillful at what you are doing at the present moment. And also you have to continue to improve your skill. Let's say you are posted to a department, and that department could be gynecology, anatomy, or pathology. You have to study more on pathology, anatomy, or physiology. That is to improve your skill. So in Malaysia, we'll tell you about later, we were incorporated into the Ministry of Health, and we are under CCM, which is under the control of Ministry of Health. See? So it was a great thing to be recognized by the Ministry of Health. But on the other hand, I can't blame them, because the officers in charge, they are only good at regulatory. They try to regulate us, but they didn't try to help to promote homeopathy, because perhaps they do not have the knowledge and the attitude to learn, to be good in their work, to be skilled. And the last thing for homeopath is to be honest and to have a habit to call on your patient. Let's say follow up 2 weeks, and they will be very happy. At least you give them a call a few days after they see you, or about 1 or 2 weeks to follow up on them. So that is the habit. And honesty means don't simply claim on the internet or Facebook, especially that this homeopathy medicine can cure this and cure that, and you start selling the homeopathy medicines. That means you are no more a homeopath or a physician, but you are just only a salesman or a businessman. So that is also not good for homeopathy at the end of the day, and also not good for your prestige. Even though you feel that you have cured certain cases with certain remedy, but please do not put a lot of claims on Facebook, especially that this homeopathy drugs can cure this and cure that, this homeopathy medicine can cure this and cure that. No, because we don't cure diseases, we treat patients and not diseases. Okay, and in order for us to try to be number one, I feel that we have the great experts and the great intellects in this IFPH group, and now we have extended globally. Then I feel that it is the right time for us to get our heads together and to focus on how to build homeopathy to be number 2 and number 1, or to stay in number 2, so that we won't go down to number 3. But also to improve to go to number 1 by doing an analysis. Analysis means SWOT. SWOT analysis. Have you heard about that? Okay. SWOT. SWOT. Which means that, can you read this? Or is it the other way around? Is it this way better or this way?
The other way, sir.
This way. This way?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. S means what is the strength of homeopathy? In order to go to number 1, we have to sit down and discuss tonight, especially at the beginning, and I would like to invite the moderator tonight, and also the Dr. Saji to write the notes down of what we have discussed tonight. So we have to find out the strength of homeopathy in order to be number 1. At the same time, we have to find out the weakness of homeopathy. And number 3, we have to find the opportunity. What is the opportunity for us in order to target to be number 1? And the last one is the threat. What are the things threatening homeopathy now for us to be able to achieve to be number 1? Okay. Just like I've discussed with some friends, when China becomes number 2 in the world, the number 1 gets very uneasy because China is number 2, and they will try to do all kinds of things to sabotage number 2. So India is going to be number 2 in economy in the world. I think they will go to face the same thing by the US. Maybe they will ask the India to go to fight for the civil war and visit all the expertise that they cannot concentrate on developing their own country, to develop their own economy, because they are in a war, civil war, fighting a civil war with China or something like that. And because the Americans are very afraid of India right now, because India is projected to be number 2 economy in the world. So they will do all kinds of things. They pretend to be your friends, but at the same time, they will stab you in the back. So you have to be careful with number 1 at the present moment. So these are the example of threats. I think I have I any more time left, or is it the time out?
Yeah, it's okay, sir. It's okay. Your class is something like an MBA class. So it's
3 more minutes. So maybe we can open it up later to the panel and to the participants. How to analyze the strength, and we have to write down the strength and the weaknesses, the opportunity, and the threats to homeopathy, so that later on we can come out with a working paper on that, and we can get it published, or we can get it circulated among ourselves. Okay. So what is the strength of homeopathy? The strength of homeopathy is because
patients are confident more than doctors.
Sorry?
Patients are confident more than doctors.
Confident.
Patients are confident more than doctors. That's my.
They are not confident.
No, they are confident more than doctors. Patients are confident.
Confident.
Doctors are confident.
Okay, they are more confident. Homeopaths are more confident than doctors in treating patients. Because
no, sir. My point is that in homeopathy, patients are more confident, but not the
or not the homeopath. The patients are more confident because they are cured by the homeopath, right? So we have a higher success rate in treating patients, right? Especially acute or chronic. And acute cases, I think we can do equally well with the allopath, but in the chronic cases, I think we can even do better, because certain types of chronic cases which cannot be solved by allopathy, homeopathy can solve. So this is one of the strengths we have. So, and the other thing is, we have to depend on India, because India is the center of knowledge in homeopathy now, and we have to follow the examples of India, because in India's homeopathy hospital and colleges are supported by the government, and the member of parliament
Dr. Bob,
are supported.
Dr. Bob, do one thing. This is a very, very good and interesting topic. So I'll do one thing. After the speech of doctor from Afghanistan, we can discuss more. We can discuss another 10 minutes only for the thought. So everyone can unmute and they can write and they can.
I think we discussed this. At the end of the session.
Nobody can read it.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, I hand it over the session to the moderator now.
Yes,
maybe all the participants can take part after this.
Yes, yes. We can discuss. After that. After the speech of Afghanistan, we can discuss that. So
Okay, thank you.
in the meantime, all participants can think about what is the strength of homeopathy and what is the weakness of homeopathy and what is the opportunity. And this is the right opportunity. The COVID is the right opportunity. Same like that, what opportunity we have and what threat we have. So we can discuss about for the next 10 minutes after the discussion with the Dr. Muhammad from Afghanistan. So I would like to welcome Dr. Muhammad Kareem from Afghanistan. He's an MSc and MBBS and BSc. Okay, research officer AHMA. I think Afghanistan Homeopathy Medical Association AHMA. Lead manager, trainer, and lecturer. The university visiting lecturer of Ethics and Scientific Writing and Professional English visiting physician, Pius Curative Hospital, Kabul, former UNDP SHDP co-host, research provincial coordinator, former MMRC, a mental health and disability officer and trainer. So I think Dr. Shaji, he's not a homeopathic doctor and he's an MBBS doctor, right?
Yeah, he's an MBBS doctor, but very much interested in studying, teaching, and promoting homeopathy. I think I wish to hear from him because he is actually connected to the Afghan Homeopathic Medical Association, and we will know directly from him. Dr. Karim, please come in.
Thank you, Dr. Shah. And first of all, I have to say much more congratulations on completing 266th day of IFPH, International Forum for Promoting Homeopathy.
So can you
Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yeah,
am I
audible?
Okay. All right.
But your video is not seen.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Now,
Okay.
now
Now,
both.
can you see me?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. All right. Okay. So I have to make some addition here that I think before that I have to come here, as Dr. Shah mentioned. But CFK, I don't know what's the name of that doctor who is moderating this session. Okay. Sorry.
Firozkan.
All right. Okay. All right. All right. Thank you. As Dr. Shah, you mentioned that I came towards homeopathy because basically I'm an allopath and working here in Afghanistan from last 10 years in the public health sector as well as clinical. So worked on different projects here, and recently I'm working with a national NGO here in Afghanistan, which is working around the whole Afghanistan as a senior M&E manager for different health projects, including hospitals and clinics. So towards homeopathy as the topic of today, which you guys mentioned that how can we promote or improve the system of treatment around the globe to be the topmost or first one. So I'm agree with you that it's very good that we have to work on this. But before that, where I have to go in depth, I have some points here that how can we improve homeopathy to be the number one system around the globe, not only in some countries like Dr. Bob, Dr. Anirudh mentioned in their statements. So for this, in Afghanistan, as this system of medicine or treatment is naive or new system, because people are not much more aware about homeopathy, what's homeopathy, but we, along with Dr. Ubaidullah Al-Hashmi, who is the president of AHMA, Afghanistan Homeopathic Medical Association, and I'm working as a research director, which I have to correct here, not research officer, as a research director, as well as board of governors for AHMA. And we started this, this organization in 2017 for the very first time in Afghanistan, and we, gave some awareness to our Ministry of Health and other universities, including our Ministry of Higher Education, that you guys have to develop this system of treatment here in Afghanistan, which is very, very effective as compared to others. But I have some points which I have to mention here, that how how can we improve or promote this kind of system here in Afghanistan, that you people around the globe has to be in touch with us for the future projects or future perspectives. We can work on four sectors. Number one is education. Education about homeopathic mode of treatment as well as allopathic mode of treatment. We have to work because we can't say that these systems are separate. Maybe like Dr. Bob, Dr. Anirudh mentioned that homeopathy basically works on preventive, not only preventive, but not mostly in the surgery or other aspects. But I have to say, this is my opinion, I have to say that if we guys have to jointly work with other systems of treatment on a one platform like IFPH, which is a very good platform for health professionals around the globe to promote. I think then we can do uh, um, uh, you we can work better as compared to any other. That if we have to jointly bring all those other systems like Unani with this system of medicine, then we can claim that our mode of treatment, our mode of system for human service, especially about health, is very effective. So about education, as I mentioned, education for education in Afghanistan, how can we promote this? That you guys have to join us. You have to give support on back of us. Then we can. How is it possible? Is it possible that if you guys around the globe, not only India, from around the globe, because in this session I think from different countries people are present, so they have to give scholarships to our organization and establish and help or support us in establishing a university in this kind of treatment. I think it will be very effective for Afghan communities and for Afghan Ministry of Health, for governing body in medicine like Afghanistan Medical Council and other regulatory authorities to work on this, because this kind of project will bring people from around the globe together at one platform to serve in a better way. Second is business. Without business, we know that nothing is possible. Like in what sense? Positive business, not in a negatives. We have to say that we people are working just only for business. No, business is what? That we have to make some opportunities for export and import. I think people from different pharma industries here will be, I don't know, but I think they are hearing me. So this is my gentle request from them, that they have to support us in this sector, because Afghanistan is a golden opportunity for those people to import or export their medicine here to work on these projects for a future, which is a very good seeing. And the third one after this, when we will be established in this one here in Afghanistan from you guys support, then for abundance will be developed not only for them. Me, Dr. Shaji, am I audible? Hello,
you are bro
am I audible?
you are not clearly audible for last 2 minutes. So I appreciate the third point onwards. Maybe better you repeat.
All right, all right. I'll repeat it. Okay, now I think am I audible now, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. The third point, after education and business, we move towards positive and good political relations from around the globe with Afghanistan, with Afghan communities, with Afghan people, government to government, and universities to universities, and other sectors. As I mentioned you, that in Afghanistan, no work and no different work on these projects, especially about homeopathy, has been done up to now. So I think it's a golden opportunity for you guys to come here, and we have to give hands to each other to promote this kind of system to be the topmost or number one. And finally, we will see the results of all these things in a positive and in a very deemed way, which will leads us, all of us, to be gathered at one platform from different communities, of the health system. Like I mentioned, not only we are working to promote only homeopathy will be the topmost, to bring all others with at one platform. I think it will give a very positive results, and at the end we will see that this kind of treatment, this kind of you have to say that healthcare mode of treatment will be very effective for communities, not only in Afghanistan but also around the globe. So Dr. Shaw, I think all other panelists are there, and they talk I'm agreed with all of them, as Dr. Anirudh, Dr. Radha, I think, Dr. Radha, Dr. Bob, all of them, both of them, sorry, mentioned very clearly that if we guys have a SWOT analysis like strength, weakness, opportunity to threats, about this system type of system, why this type of system is coming to the second, because people around the globe work much more. And I think, not only think, but I saw that different research papers which I saw about this type of treatment was very effective during this COVID-19 pandemic, and this kind of treatment became very effective in India. I heard, not saw, but you guys are there on the ground, that this kind of treatment, this mode of treatment, gave very positive results to COVID patients at acute phases. I think now I'm covering all of my talks and coming towards you guys, that for these kind of discussion, we can give a very good and positive touch to bring at the topmost a number one homeopathy as compared to other kind of treatment systems. Over to you, Dr. Shah. And I think
Yeah,
Dr.
Firoz,
CFK.
yeah.